Hello, and welcome to another episode of my Realpolitiks. Let's play. This is Northstar. Hope you folks are well, taking care of each other and being kind to yourselves. Exhausted, but I gotta produce videos. Gotta be productive of one of the few things I can do in my long COVID. Hopefully, this will take off someday. Um. Anyways, after the break, which I guess I post videos days apart, but some of you will come across this playlist later and watch them in order, maybe. Previously, I got this event, I got the video. It's called The Mummy. For those of you who can't guess, this is a clear reference to certain events in history, but this game was made by virulent neoliberals who seem to think, oh, the real threat to the world. It's not, the kind of, Christian nationalist, fascist, Christian nationalist bullshit that leads to people like Russell Vout, evil, shady, snaky characters working behind the scenes to turn the U.S. into a Christo-fascist. He's a Christian nationalist, but really that's a type of fascism. Hellhole with absolutely no regard for what voters want or what the values of the country really are. Working with the evangelicals, of course, and declaring Trump to be God's servant and all this. No, that's not what we should worry about. We should worry about the silly Marxist-Leninists who want to make a mummy out of Lenin, who made one in, what was it, like the 1930s? It's a long time ago. It's not even something that the Soviets did towards the end. It was something they did early in their history. And, of course, the Soviet Union is the country neoliberals always love to beat up on, often with pieces of propaganda that are half-truths or complete lies and fabrications, and because they're not around to defend themselves and history is written by the victors, they get away with it all the time. Anyways, the charismatic and overly popular leader of the People's Democratic Front, yep, the socialist NGO in this game, because again, neoliberals love to beat up on socialism because it's the only real threat to their work efforts to tear apart all welfare systems, give all money to the rich, and leave people like me, disabled long COVID, to die. That is what neoliberals want. It's the ideology of Ronald Reagan, but it's also the ideology of Bill Clinton, and neoliberals will always ally themselves with fascists. It's Trump and Russell Vout. Russell Vout is the director of the Office of Management and Budget, OMB, who Trump appointed, one of the architects of Project 2025. He is a fascist. Even if you don't think Trump is a fascist, Russell Vout is undoubtedly a fascist, and his public speeches confirm this to a degree that is absolutely egregious. Recently passed, the overly popular, again, a judgment of whether overly popular instead of legitimately popular, because he led their movement to, prominence. Leader of the People's Democratic Front recently passed away, and now the organization has approached us with quite a proposition: his mummification and placement on public display. If we do this, the communists, they're calling the People's Democratic Front communists. Of course, communist is a word specifically Marxist-Leninists, and some of them are probably actually anarchist, democratic socialists. It's probably a broad front NGO, so that's not even accurate to what they're on the game. We'll have a hugely attractive, quote, cult spot for meetings. On the bright side, however, it would be an interesting tourist attraction. You can do it. Improves relations, costs very little, and improves relations with Russia. Okay, that's bullshit, because Russia is absolutely not socialist anymore. Maybe it's countries of higher interventionism in this game. China, Pakistan, North Korea, Mashriq. Yeah, I don't think ISIS has any love for socialism. That's a load of shit. Iran and Germany. This better not be a pre-programmed list of countries that the devs thought were socialist. This better just be high interventionism countries that pull from the game files. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's a pre-programmed list, because again, the devs of this game were terrible human beings. I've had the misfortune of interaction with them and trying to get bug reports dealt with. A new tourist attraction sounds ideal. this is supposed to increase GDP by 5%, but they forgot the 1, so it's times 0.05, so it cuts GDP to 1/20th. So somehow a tourist attraction crashes the entire economy of my entire country. That's a load of horse dung. And keep my profanities low, and maybe YouTube won't censor me so hard. They'll censor me because they don't like my left-wing views, of course. Or this is going to backfire spectacularly. Her relations, the People's Democratic Front, make people unhappy. Great idea. Higher relations. Germany is actually a legitimate threat to me. Russia is somewhat less of a threat, but they do have transport, so they could attack me. As could China if they really wanted, though they tend not to be aggressive in this game. It's Western countries like Japan. They're not Western culture, but Japan, France, the UK, the United States, those are the countries that will usually, sometimes Germany, that will randomly invade you in this game. Russia mostly only invades their neighbors, and sometimes Germany after certain events where they want to rebuild the empire of the Nazis. Really? Okay, that's probably why Germany's on this list. Iran calls themselves Islamic socialists, but they're not. So they really shouldn't be on this list, and ISIS definitely shouldn't. Nor Pakistan. Like I said, Pakistan has always been a far-right anti-socialist dictatorship, so if there's any country that doesn't belong on this list, it's Pakistan. Anyways, improve relations with NGO. Great idea. Because higher relations, I'm not yet to the point where it starts scaring the world. Means less unemployment, less unhappiness, and higher interventionism target. Interventionism target is, well, let's see. Interventionism is not really low. It does add to project costs, but it lets me gather more debt. Okay, so it's right now this would cost me about 0.4 gold per turn and 0.1 AP, but it lets me carry more than twice as much debt, so fewer bankruptcies, so it actually helps my economic growth. Increases the max and min taxes. That's actually a bad thing because I want to set taxes as low as possible. Hurts my GDP growth a little, though really it always starts hurting it after about 11 or 12, so that's all right. Mainly it's just so improve relations with these guys, because this will make the freedom movement happier, who I really are the ones that want to make happy, because low personal control, higher tax income. So see what the next task is from them, because I got a new task from People's Democratic Front soon. I forget if one of the previous things became invalid, or I met their task, or something happened. Anyways. Yeah, so a Macedonian Lenin. Oh, that's actually a great title for this video. A Macedonian Lenin. Death on duty. An uncompromising policeman, Hank Sherpico, famous for his uncompromising. I keep saying uncompromising. This is nonsense. He's probably a fascist. Uncompromising ethics and corruptibility. Right. Was maliciously murdered last week. I don't know what real-life event this is supposed to be a reference to, but whenever the political leaders of the country keep calling a policeman uncompromising, it usually actually means he's a fascist who goes around going outside the law and just murdering innocent people. It's suspected his death was a result of a mob hit, as he was a sworn enemy of the Legitimate Businessmen's Club. Oh, well, maybe he was fighting the mafia for real. It is rumored that he was very close to obtaining conclusive proof with which to break the organization for good. We'll finish his work. Our score. Relations can't go below 0, so no change in my relations with the LBC. Less unhappiness, or pay for a national funeral, then forget about it. Hurts my score. A little bit of higher relations with them. And unhappiness. Well, that is a lot of score. Score is mostly irrelevant at this point. I'm not about to climb the rankings anytime soon. Up to the point of competing with like the U.S. and Germany and Japan for score. Do I want to risk? Unhappiness is 1%. 9% unhappiness and a chance of a riot that could absolutely wreck my military, or no unhappiness. Some events. Unhappiness is a currency you can trade in. We'll finish his work. They do reduce army maintenance, I know for sure. I think they increase project maintenance. I don't remember what they do to war losses. And they might, I don't remember what they do to unemployment growth. Anyways, I don't know. Score is nice, but the main thing is unhappiness. Not increasing it. Especially because my country has pretty much no social services. It doesn't even have basic social security. It doesn't have a basic health service even. Forget universal health care. It doesn't have any government-sponsored health care. Internal political advancement, so it doesn't have very effective governance. It doesn't even have propaganda or universal education. People could very easily be pissed off with their government not caring for them and revolt. Or even if they can't do it in your core province, the moment expand. I don't know how long that unhappiness lasts. We have received a proposition for a land buyout from the Legitimate Businessmen's Club for some rural, seemingly worthless lands. And soon, there'll be a vote on whether a new highway will cut through this land. If it does, whoever owns it will suddenly become much richer. Score, is that in 450 days or for the next 450 days? So for the next 15 months, I gain 20 score, which is a lot. Either way, score or get a little money, lose a little tax income. It's like lose 15 gold, so I actually gain money in that. Lower interventionism. Yeah, sounds good. Now I can see what they do. Okay, they increase unemployment and army maintenance. Those are both bad, but they reduce project maintenance. It's not enough to actually cut down project maintenance. Bigger thing is reduce personal control target. That's useful. I don't think either of these round, but army maintenance is tiny compared to project maintenance, so net improvement in my budget and lower personal control. The expense of unemployment growth, which is still kept under control, so I don't strengthen them off it too much. I am good. They could easily start driving unemployment. Although actually I have an excess of population growth right now, so it might not be terrible in the short run. The big thing is personal control target. And interventions went down for a little. Let's me cut taxes. Well, it's gonna go back up. Because People's Democratic Front, I guess. Yeah, temporary decrease of taxes and keep growing the economy, which is absolutely necessary for a lot of things, including importing more resources. The US and Russia are at war. Gotta give it a sec to actually start. Should be able to view it on either country, shouldn't I? Oh, here we go. Yep, the US decided to attack Russia. I'm too small. I'm beneath their notice, even though I actually have higher warmonger rating. Started a border war with Albania, but otherwise I haven't done much to seriously threaten the world order run by the US. Minister arrested for DUI. One of our governmental ministers was detained by the police last night with an insane blood alcohol level. Fire the fool, or thank God for parliamentary immunity. Fire me with score and AP. Thank God for parliamentary immunity. Let's see. Yeah, I didn't. I guess these things didn't set long-term changes in unhappiness. It will decay, but I'm currently running 8%. Good thing I didn't like ignore the policeman earlier. I'd have a really high unhappiness level. My military is small and mostly ceremonial. I guess that's not enough to deal with any substantial riots. Nevertheless, to block. I've received a proposition from a well-known philanthropist. He wishes to open a bank account in our country, into which he would like to deposit very large amounts of money. But there's one problem. He is wanted in 24 countries, and it's open secret he is a very dangerous crime baron. Do we really need to get to know him better? I'd say, well, he's not one in our country. At 30 warmonger rating. At 150, you risk some very bad events like an automatic UN intervention. So that's probably not a great idea. Hurts relations with the whole world for a while. To get some money from it, or close his account and confiscate the money. Cost AP, which will probably just go away with the next bankruptcy, gain money. Where we do not deal with criminals. Yeah, close his account and confiscate the money. So let him open the account and then immediately seized his initial deposit. I didn't know what was going on until I had his money in hand or something. A pragmatic move. Russia and Germany are at peace. Russia keeps getting attacked by everyone over the Ukraine, clearly. Eventually, we'll probably, since relations are so terrible, claim the West to Ukraine. Belarus starts in their block, but eventually they'll leave it when they go bankrupt, and they tend not to annex them peacefully. A smart player would annex Belarus before you eventually face bankruptcy as Russia, because their economy is too weak compared to their expenses. They eventually go bankrupt, which is not world-ending in this game. It just is a setback. Gives you a bit of warmonger, hurts relations temporarily. I think it gives you warmonger, if I recall. Liberal agitation. Should the leading party agitate for liberal values in upcoming elections, i.e. neoliberal values? Reduce personal control. That's actually reduce militarism. That's actually nonsense, because actually neoliberals tend to pour money into the military. They tend to do personal control. The only thing they don't do is interventionism. Neoliberalism is often a front for actually authoritarian. I suppose this is principal liberalism, which would technically be all these things, but it's certainly not the liberalism of any actual liberal party. Anyways, agitate, cost money, but the interventionism, reduced interventionism is worth it. Target. This will ensure interventionism all goes up to 11 instead of 12 in the next elections. Militarism will still go up by 2. Personal control will still go down by 2 either way. The main thing is reducing the interventionism growth. Alright, I'm at 20 minutes here. So I should probably cut this in a second. Siding with lobbyists, the leading party has been influenced by various interest groups. We have to choose the lesser evil. I'm going to cut this here. Wish you all the best. Take care of each other. Be kind to yourselves. And may you always find a guiding star to lead you home. Adieu.